Greetings and thank you for joining. I'm Dr. Catherine Y. Brown. Today, I am excited to introduce you to my special guest, Shirley Craig. Welcome, Shirley.
Good to be here. Thank you. I'm right here in Houston, Texas. Pleasant day today, but we've got a cold front coming.
Oh, so I guess it's kind of time for that. It's November 11th,
Yes,
2022. So we're in that fall, almost winter season.
yes, we are.
Well, I want to say I appreciate you for being willing to share your story with me and all of our viewers around the world who know more about your PH journey. So let's jump right in. Can you tell me the first time that you heard the two words pulmonary hypertension? And you can be as detailed as you would like.
Well, it was December in 1990, and I was in Anchorage, Alaska, and it was from the doctor, a cardiologist, standing beside my hospital bed. I was had not been doing well for a while, didn't know what was going on, and made my way to a PA who took an x-ray, saw infiltrates in my lungs and sent me straight to the ER. And when I got there, they put the O2 monitor on and it was 60. And alarms went off everywhere and people were running over to my bed, and I was just sitting there, what's going on? And so that started it all, and that's been what, 30 plus years. So when I was told what it was, and their words were primary pulmonary hypertension secondary to Eisenmenger syndrome. So I was born with congenital heart defects and made it to the wonderful age of, gosh, how old was I then? 38, 39. Had my heart repaired, and the surgeon said, well, there was a little damage to the lungs, but we don't think it'll be a problem. But it was. But in the interim, I married and had my beautiful son. So I'm thankful for those years for sure.
Absolutely. What were some of the symptoms that led you to going in to be seen at the hospital just before you were diagnosed?
Extreme fatigue. I was working, I was teaching at a junior high and just got so tired and of course out of breath. And I was overweight then and still now, but it got to the point where I was walking down the hallway to the offices and I'd have to stop and lean against the wall and draw breath. I never passed out. I'm thankful for that, but just feeling so tired and like I could just barely go on. So it was at the Christmas holidays. I sat at my desk and I was doing lesson plans for the next semester, and my thought crossed my head, if I'm back next semester. And so after that, I went to the local doctor and it all started from there.
Gotcha. What was the initial, I guess, medication regimen that they decided to go with, and did that change, or what was that journey like? Because that's very different for everyone.
Well, this was 1990 and there were no pH meds at that point, nothing. And of course, almost no one had heard of it. I'm thankful this doctor did, but since my O2 sats were so low, he put me on oxygen right away. And I just suddenly felt so good. I felt high for weeks because I'd been walking around with extremely low saturation levels. So to have this oxygen, I felt well again. And that's all I was on. We left Anchorage because nobody knew anything then, and they were saying heart double lung transplant, blah, blah, blah. So we came to Houston and I got in touch with a wonderful Dr. Adani Frost, who's been associated for a very long time with PH and the Pulmonary Hypertension Association. And she said, stay on the oxygen. She didn't really offer anything else. She gave me 2 years, which was better than the first doctor. And I stayed on just oxygen for a very long time until later on I went into the UT15 remodulin study in 1999. She tried me on Procardia, which was a known vasodilator at the time, but it gave me really strange symptoms, that side effects that I did not like and really couldn't tolerate. So, but once I got into the UT15 study, then we added on, they wanted me on Coumadin and eventually potassium and Lasix. Much later on, I was in the Bosentan Triclear trial. So that got me through. They called it the bridge to transplant, and that's what it was. So 18 years on oxygen, carrying it with me everywhere. I'm a firm promoter of oxygen. And then in 2008, I did have a heart and double lung transplant. So that's why I call this before and life before and after PH, because I've been very blessed to live with it and maintain for a very long time, and then get my second chance from a very lovely donor. And it's been 14 years this month beyond transplant. So yay me.
Yay. Oh, I love that. I thank you for sharing that, because, our mantra is awareness, empowerment, and hope.
Yes.
Together we can make a difference. And just by listening to you, you've definitely increased our awareness, right? And empowerment, and just the story of hope.
Yes.
So I just think this is wonderful. As you go back through your journey, is there anything or words of wisdom or advice you would tell someone to maybe who's at the beginning or at any stage that you've been through, because you've been through so many different stages of your journey?
Well, I think educate yourself as much as possible about this disease. If the doctor tells you 1 year or 2 years or whatever, say, okay, fine, but believe you're going to live a very long time.
Yes.
I told my first doctor, I said, well, you could be dead tomorrow from a car hitting you as you cross the street. So, nobody can tell you when it's your time. Only one person knows that. So, but what I tried so hard to do was not only educate myself, but others. And I became affiliated with a group of people here in Houston. We had a support group, and it's still ongoing, and I'm now the leader of it. And so reaching out to others, letting them know about this disease. And again, you park in the handicap space and people come up to you and say, well, why are you there? You don't look sick. How many times have we heard that? And I was lucky because I was carrying an oxygen pack on my shoulder. So not many people made a comment about that, but those are some of the things that we face. But talk to your doctor, educate your family, your friends, and reach out to as many places as you can. The Pulmonary Hypertension Association, my first outreach was actually NORD, because there was nothing. And they sent me a list of about 16 people. And they said, all we ask is that you write to every one of them. Don't just pick one. And so I did. And I heard back from everyone but one. Okay. And and they were all telling me about, it was UPA then, it had just been formed. And so through that, I joined in nationally, and excuse me, later internationally. So
wow, just amazing. And you brought up a point, and I want to make sure I go back for our viewers. It is so important to not make assumptions. When you see someone in that handicap parking space, just assume they always have the best intentions, because what you said, Miss Shirley, is so true. So many people tell me they get the bad looks and people ask them, why are you parking there? But you don't know what's going on inside.
No.
And sometimes people look absolutely healthy here and they're struggling. So
Yes.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That needs to be said so often. And there are a lot of people who do that. We really have to bring more awareness about that.
We do. And there are organizations doing that today. But still, it's like we're nowhere near the top of the mountain. But it is a rare disease. There's so many terrible, horrible things out there that affect people. So we just kind of got to get our space in line and hold on to it.
That's right. That's right. Is there anything that you want to share that I have not asked you?
Well, this really has turned out to be a wonderful journey for me. Met so many wonderful people, and I hope that I helped and touched some along the way and sometimes people would come up to me on my oxygen and then say, oh, my dad was just put on oxygen and he won't go anywhere. He won't leave the house. Yeah. And that would just break my heart, that people accept this diagnosis and then just, go hide away at home and wait for an outcome. You don't have to do that. There's wonderful medications today, hallelujah. And I'm so glad that in our support group, we have many long-term survivors. We have great PH docs here in town, and you get to them, they work with you, they get you on the medications that work for you. And then people can live a fairly normal life. They continue to work and exercise. So I'm thankful for that. And that's the difference between when I started and there was nothing, and today is phenomenal. But still so far to go.
I truly love that even when I think about like my mother and other people who, maybe got late diagnosis, didn't always get the best options, but that there's hope for people in the future. And like you said, what has been is certainly different than, so it's like what's to come is truly better than what's been. And, as I'm on this road to interview 100 voices of pulmonary hypertension, I'm reminded that with each story, there is so much hope and so much awareness that needs to be shared, which is why I'm so thankful to you for even taking time to meet with me. But that's the beauty of the PH community. We're a nonprofit, RBW PH awareness group, which is in my mother's honor, but there are so many people. And when we meet each other, we're so rare. We just build this bond and family like instantly. And I love it as an only child, because it has really embraced and been a blessing for me.
Sounds like you've been to a PHA conference.
Not yet.
Oh my goodness, you are so missing out. They are wonderful.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So I told you about Mom's journey and passing in 2016, but prior to that, I was the primary caregiver. And we relocated her from Chicago, Illinois to Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm currently at. So and then my journey was really just trying to increase awareness of PH. So just really doing that. And even as I think about, the COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm looking at all these research studies that says that now there's a correlation, as you may have seen, between people that were diagnosed with COVID are at greater risk of developing pulmonary hypertension. Well, my thing is that they don't even know what pulmonary hypertension is. So it makes me feel like this work that I'm doing, and like I say, ours is Roberta Baines Wheeler Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Group. It's like, it's so much work to be done. So I don't always get away because I'm so grassroots and going into a lot of underserved communities to try to just increase awareness. And that is our main focus, is awareness and education. And then we try to say, hey, have you heard of these support groups? You should, like, just trying to be the pathway, the bridge to help
Absolutely.
Right, because I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel, Miss Shirley. I think that there's enough of us doing unique things. If we put it together, the universe is really building a beautiful force to
Mhm.
say, hey, Dr. Catherine is increasing awareness and she's doing 100 voices and she's doing health, and then you got the PHA is doing this and support groups is doing this and all these other amazing entities. So
Yeah.
I will get there soon, Miss Shirley. I'll get there soon.
Well, they only do it every 2 years, and they just had one this June,
They
but I
just had
was
one.
lucky to go to the second one ever in Atlanta in '96, and went to at least 5 more after that.
I love it.
So there is a lot of information. It is online. You can find it. So just go out there and look. And if you can't find it, ask somebody to help.
Yeah, and I think that's important for people to ask. Like you say, I sound like I've been to one. Nope, I've just been in the community doing the work. And also making sure that those people like me who are grassroots, just continue to share the message and the resources. But I do send people that I know, I try to get them to go. So thank you again. Listen, if you're watching this interview, you can tell Miss Shirley and we can just talk forever and ever.
Yes, we could. I have many questions, but just for you.
That's it.
I'm sorry about your mother and that it took so long for her diagnosis. And you said she was a nurse?
She was a nurse, and believe it or not, she continued to advocate for PH until a few hours before she passed.
Well, that's wonderful. But I've met other nurses too who it seemed to take so long to get a diagnosis for I don't know what reasons, but that's a familiar path. It takes a long time to find the right doctors, etc., to get that diagnosis and get you on the right path.
That's right. But we can't give up hope. And that's what I try to do in her honor. It's like, I'm not going to give up hope. Sometimes I listen to the amazing things. I was like, wow, I wish mom would have been here, even in the age of Zoom. Like, I wish she could have been here to see this. But I know she's got her eternal wings.
She's watching.
That's it. She's watching this. So for our viewers, listen, like this message, share this message, follow us, because we want you to meet more amazing PH leaders in the community like Shirley Craig, who is not only a story of hope, but she continues to serve other people and give them hope. And to me, that is so amazing that you're giving back and you're sharing the stories, and you are helping people to live quality lives. And I think it's a difference between surviving and thriving. And what you are trying to tell people is don't just survive, but you can really thrive. And that's not a message that we commonly hear. We hear it, we go on the internet, we research all the horrific things, and we shut down. So Shirley, thank you for being here. And I just want to honor you and just thank you for your service, because you are truly a trailblazer who is making a difference.
Thank you. And good luck to all your listeners. And they can find me on the internet. So.
Oh, tell them how to find you. Please give your handles so they can hear that.
We have a Facebook page here in Houston, which I strongly advocate for any support group, so your members can talk and so forth. So, but I am PH No More. Got that?
Yep. PH No More
at att.net.
I love it. So you all reach out to Shirley. She's an amazing person that you need to know. So until next time, I'm Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, and I am on a journey to 100 voices of pulmonary hypertension. I will see you all soon. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.